Hello and what's going on, you guys? This is Hyperion-Blue-GT Champion, and it looks like an add-on content update on Gran Turismo Sport is finally here. So, looks like this version is 1.25, and now let's take a look at these nice cool stuff what they got for us. So, looks like they only have 8 new cars are about to be joining in GT Sport. So, there's only has few other classic cars, including one modern vehicle board. So this one here is the Volkswagen 1200 1966. An old style Mini Cooper S 1965 is now adding in on the Mini dealership brand. And even of course, two Abarth that was definitely made from Fiat is definitely quite ever to be shown to be quite giving the re-debut board. There's the Abarth 500 2009 and the Abarth 1500 by Postal Bertone BAT1 1952, Lancia Delta HF Integrate Evoluzione 1991, and probably the street tuner car is the Amuse S2000 GT1 Turbo. And also, last but not least, but a two American classic race car, the Ford Mark IV race car 1967, and the Chevy Cobra Daytona Coupe 1964. So, looks like the other cars are about to come back from Gran Turismo 6, and definitely the newer ones has been joining in on Gran Turismo Sport. Well, probably the Mini Cooper S was one of the newest car sports, because that was actually introduced for it. And looks like one of our greatest racetrack ever, the Red Bull Ring, has now added in onto the new course. So probably since we also enjoying racing this track since Gran Turismo 6, and it also has a short track in it, that might be very good to use the Mercedes F1 race car for it. And looks like there's some 3 new events are about to be adding in on the GT League. So it looks like there's the Beetle and Samabus Festival on the Beginner League. The Group 3 Cup is now added in on the Amateur League. And the Nostalgic 1979 race event on the Professional League. So it was definitely like a new replacement event on the Historic Racing Car Cup. And even so, looks like the Circuit Decenti Clerics has been added into the Circuit Experience. I hope this is going to be a Course C layout, or probably A and B course could be giving in for. Well, probably we should probably go for the Course C, so this is going to be longer like Le Mans. And looks like a new special collection Cuba has now added in on the scrapes. Wow, looks like definitely the first time that Cuba was now have some good photo view background on it. And looks like Sagato has been added in with a museum feature in to it, so we should probably have to take a look for it. So, looks like it's time to go and get started to buy some cool new cars and see how much they got for it. So probably first stop is going to be at Ford. Will be able to be quite shown in by first. But even so, the Ford Mark IV was definitely has the same high expensive price of 20 million credits, and looks like, man, can't believe it, that was a pretty good historic race car to drive. But I really think that it looks like it also has that updated with a new view showcase on it. That was pretty nice and pretty cool for it. So probably the horsepower is 563 because the drivetrain is MR, and this is definitely the third most historic race car in the 1960s of 24 Hours of Le Mans. It looks like the Ferrari P330 and the Jaguar has been finally made itself for a reunion race for the Ford Mark IV race car since Gran Turismo 5. Man, we should probably have to start stacking up our credits, so we could probably have to reach up to 20 million, because that is a lot of high price for it. So I kind of think that getting the Ford Mark IV is definitely quite very expensive. So might be better to take a look at this nice showcase on it. But it also has one color available for it. But in the meantime, we can't buy a high expensive car if we reached up to 20 million credits. So let's go and take a look on Shelby. Yep, looks like the Daytona Coupe is now at an import, and looks like the Daytona Coupe Cobra is now becomes a Group X race car. Well, I kind of think that Group X is definitely experimental race car board, but it also has a fine classic race car for sure bit. So looks like this is the blue color and only has one available. So let me check its CE port. So looks like the price range is definitely at 50 million, but it is very nearly highly expensive, like the 3 historic race cars from Le Mans. But this is definitely the most fine relatively since Gran Turismo 6, but this is one of the classic GT race cars ever of all time. But maybe I'll just have to wait until all the high expensive cars will be now received with a daily workout complete price. So definitely 2 car brands has been now added in on Italy. So I might be able to go and take a little burst by on the August update. So looks like the old Volkswagen Beetle, known as the 1200 1966, is definitely quite very good for it. But the horsepower standard out at 33 HP, so that might be the slowest car like the Volkswagen Semibus Type 2. So it also has 9 colors also available to buy. So let's just gonna go and check on the studio scene. See, it's definitely quite giving a good enhanced detail graphics for this vehicle board. So I kind of think I might be able to go with a pearl white color. But well, maybe you guys really want to start making this fine design library on it. Just like you guys have watched Herbie Fully Loaded. It was pretty awesome for that old school vehicle board, and it's very fast board. But even so, that Volkswagen becomes an old school race car from the 60s board. So even so, that this might be a good price board to buy 40,000 credits. So looks like that makes me I'm gonna go and buy this vehicle, and let's see it. Okay, so it looks like the car class is the N100 vehicle. So that might be very slower to be fastened up like the Semibus for it. So next up to Mini dealership for it. I hope that classic Mini Cooper S is now added in for it. So back then that Mini also has a Vision Gran Turismo car. So good thing that the showroom is now finally enabled to be opened up for us. And yes, looks like the Mini Cooper S is a 1965 old style classic vehicle. So this is very good for an FF drivetrain on it. And the standard max horsepower is a 64 HP on it. Drivetrain FF vehicle, but it does giving a fast slow amount for it. But this is very classical board, just like the modern version of the Mini Cooper board. That might be quite very modernistic board, but this one is very classy and old style vehicle board. But probably, maybe you guys have already designed a Mr. Bean library on it, but well, it's gonna be giving a little bit hard question to say for it. So maybe let's just go and pick any kinds of vehicle with any colors should I go with. So maybe this is gonna be quite very good for it. Well, unlike the Fiat 500F, so I should probably have to go and choose a different kind of a color. So why not go with the old, very old English white? That might be very good for it. Well, welcome aboard Mini Cooper S classic vehicle. I hope this is gonna be good for this old school model. So, this is the first time for the Mini Cooper to be in the showroom board. So probably we still only have to use the Mini Clubman Vision GT. Well, maybe we should probably need a modern Mini Cooper S. So, looks like it's time to get ready to go and take a look at Abarth, a sporty manufacturer brand of Fiat. Well, definitely Fiat is definitely an original automotive brand board, but sometimes Abarth shares the brand with using this vehicle board. So first up, I'm about to go in and buy the Abarth 500, an exact counterpart version of the modern Fiat 500, but this one is very cool board. So it also has 5 colors in it. That might be very good to choose which one it's gonna be. So this might be very good for it because, well, standard decals is definitely quite very good for it. Well, probably my OC Carton wants a nice sporty compact vehicle. So maybe let's just gonna go and buy the white color. So this price amount, it only costs 29,500 credits. That's a pretty good cheap range for it because, well, even so, that was a very good price for this vehicle to buy it for every Gran Turismo players for it. So I really go and accept this one because this is a modern vehicle for it, because this is very cool to see it. So definitely the Abarth 500 is a N100 car, and looks like, oh yes, looks like this is definitely quite coming true for it. The Abarth 1500 by Postio Bertone BAT1 is definitely quite reductive with a good price range to be as $1 million. So definitely the horsepower is 73, because that's very good for a slow vehicle board, but it also has that Abarth drivetrain on it. Well, I kind of think perhaps that it was also used to be as a high expensive vehicle back in Gran Turismo 6, but even so in GT Sport, that was a pretty good correct price range to be as $1 million, just like Group 1 prototype car sport. And now this one is very good for this old style classic vehicle. Will be able to be quite perfect up to choose for this vehicle to buy. So looks like I'm accepting this vehicle to be purchasing. Now here it is. Well, I hope this vehicle is very perfectly expensive price to be at $1 million for it. So looks like that's very good for that. Another Abarth vehicle. So next up, Lancia is now added in on the Italy section on the car brand board. So it looks like that was a very fine vehicle that they have here is only for one. And it looks like the Delta HF Intelligente Evoluzione is now added in for it. But this one is all-wheel drive to be good for using as a rally car variant. Car class is N200, so this might be very good for it. So it also has 3 colors to be able to be available for it. So I really guess that I should probably have to go with the white color. So this might be very good to have that acquired for it. So max horsepower is 209. That's very good to drive it off-road. So looks like it only costs 55,000 credits. That's a pretty good price amount to buy this all-wheel drive vehicle. So this might be very good to go in and drive it on the dirt. So this is going to be quite very excited to bring the Delta in for a little test track. So everything is all checked up here for all the new types. Now maybe let's just gonna go and take a museum tour on the Zagato. So looks like Zagato has a lot of new exclusive design sports since 1919. But wow, looks like they just did a lot of good designs for building up a nice collaboration with Alfa Romeo since the 1940s. And also the Ferrari was part of a collaboration group board, and also Fiat and Maserati. Well, we do also need Maserati to be in the brand central until the next update board. And even so, Aston Martin was part of a collab group board. So I kind of think that European car brands can also mix a collab with Zagato for having some very nice vehicle sports. But this is definitely a mixture combination between both brands, has definitely quite gained a very surprising moment, because it is very relatively unique for these designs for it. And also Lamborghini has definitely created a concept since the 1990s. So that picture is also seen in 1996. So probably, and also Toyota was also collab with Zagato because that designs with a MRS concept. Well, we also saw that special MRS concept car from Gran Turismo 2. So this is very rare and exclusive look for this design board. So definitely that's where the founder Elito Zagato passed away in 2009. So we should probably have to pay respect to the founder of this brand. And looks like a race car for the Alfa Romeo was definitely the TC3 Costa. That was definitely fine vehicle board, but it looks like it is. We also see that different kinds of Alfa Romeo supercar back in GT6. But look at all these fine pictures of these fine vehicles with all these collaborations with any car brand sport. And also the Aston Martin designed that sports car board because the vanquished Zagato has been definitely titled all over it. That was a lot of brilliant vehicles for Zagato for having a collaboration with all the car brands to be collectibles for it. So looks like now we're about to take a look at the S2000 GT1. So let's check it on over to the Gran Turismo car brand. And looks like the Amuse has now added into the list for it, because time to go and buy an S2000 race car board. But speaking of the race car, the S2000 GT1 Turbo is an N600 car class, but it's very good for a street vehicle tuner. Can also race with the supercars. But this is quite relatively for this awesome looking street car board. That might be able to be good to challenging up the supercars to race up against the hypercars like the LaFerrari, Bugatti Veyron, and the Lamborghini Veneno. So it has a total of 18 colors. Well, maybe I'll have to go and make a count for it. So it has 14 colors. That might be quite getting a lot of few colors that might be able to choose for. And it looks like it also titled Concept by Gran Turismo. So that might be a fine tuner car to be quite used up to be making as a concept. But you see that windshield? It was a R1 Titan. So maybe let's go and choose a different color so I had to pick. Well, maybe I should go with the Monte Carlo Blue Pearl That might be very good for a good choice of a color. So the price amount is 250,000 credits. That might be very good for it. Max horsepower is 616, drivetrain FR, and this one is a turbocharged vehicle for it. And also yet, the country is Other, stands for Liberty Digital, but it is a Japanese vehicle. That might be quite very good to see it. So, looks like the S2000 joins Gran Turismo Sport, and this is going to be very good for having a fine opportunity for this tuner car to join in. So, looks like that's all the car brands. That's all the cars in the brand central. So, let's go and take a look on the scrapes before I'll be ready to go in to be raced on the Red Bull Ring. So, looks like let's take a look on Cuba. So, looks like Cuba is definitely an island located near at Florida, of course. So it has a lot of fine locations of these photos around here. So this is definitely the place since the 1960s for it. Well, I better have to decline that history for it because this one has a lot of few of images that's ever yet to be shown. So looks like maybe which one should I have to go first? So there are a lot of few images to be shown for. So let's just gonna go and use the Havana Bay because that might be quite very good start for it. Now, maybe I had to choose something classic to be able for. So let's just gonna go by year, and then let's scroll down and make it back into the 1960s or 80s. So probably this might be very good for it. Well, maybe I should probably have to go with a Mini Cooper S. That might be quite very suitable for this location. Okay, so maybe let's just gonna change the pose. Okay, so let's go for it. So this might be good to be placing around the sun. Just gonna have to place the Mini Cooper here and place my guy. Okay, so even so, this just might be giving a little bit quick time to trying out this photo scrapes on it. So that might be a total of images of 27. So that might be quite very good to see all these Cuba pictures for it. So approximately, Cuba definitely has a total number of 27 for it. That might be good for it enough. So maybe I'll just have to take a little quick check on the GT League. So this might be very good to see there's some new events for it. So looks like new events and new rounds are about to be coming at it again. So I kind of think that 2 new rounds on the Master Roadster Cup. That might has the Scuba Circuit and Blue Moon Bay Speedway. And even so, looks like a new event has been differently added in after the Lightweight K-Cup board. So this is the Beetle and Samba Bus Festival. So this might be getting a good choice for having a little slow race to be at least 3 laps. And looks like Group 3 Cup is now quite getting in for it because that might be good since the Group 4 Cup from the Beginner League. And also the Red Bull X Junior Series is having 2 new rounds for it. So maybe let's just take a look of the quick preview and see how much of these requirements for it. So I kind of think I don't have a high expensive vehicles to be participating for this event, because that is going to be a lot of requirements that I'm really gonna do. But the bad news is I don't have any cars to meet its regulations, because that is a lot of hard time for it, because maybe I should probably have to wait until if I could probably have to get a high expensive car to race this event. But this is gonna be very bummer for me. So I had to decide to be on hold for once, and probably that might be quite very hard time to win this race by earning a lot of credits for it. So probably 2 new rounds on the Lamborghini Cup. That might be very good for it. And then it looks like prototype race cars is now going to take a 60-minute race on Monza. That's very good for taking a little third round of the race for it. But this time I'll be able to do this later on for today. So looks like it's time to get ready to go and try it out, this race sport. So looks like Red Bull Wing is now finally back for it, because this is very good for taking in 2 new rounds with only 2 tracks for it. So the full course and the short one is definitely very good for it. So I really decided that I should probably have to go and grab a KTM Expo. So this might be good for having a little race for it. So let's go and grab the Austrian sports bike. So I really decided that maybe I just probably had to use the same card that I just received and make it as a 15th anniversary variant. That might be very good for taking a little one-on-one challenge. So looks like time to get ready to go for it, until just giving a little next clip to be on hold for a while. Okay, everything's all set. Now let's put this 15th anniversary variant and bring it over to the track. So I'll be decided to take the short track first and then the full course. So probably 2 laps might be quite very okay for a bit. So let's go and take the custom race over, and then time to go for a one-on-one challenge. So let's just gonna go and race on to the short track. So definitely Red Bull Ring has a different time conditions to be able to introduce to the update. So maybe it's definitely quite possibility to choose which time it's gonna be at. So looks like I'll decide to choose morning for a little warm-up session. So let's just gonna go and use the automatic transmission, and then let's have a 3-lap challenge. That might be able to go for for kicks. So I decided that I had to go with 1 make, and also putting on the fuel consumptions will be giving the hard extreme challenge. This will give it much better to do it like any other pros to take on a one-on-one race. Will be quite getting in to take the advantage. Okay, here we go, and let's race. So folks, looks like this special moment for having an August update, I will be decided to use KTM Expos for having the first round of the race on the Red Bull Wing. But this is very good for it, because might be the best time to get ready to race, and this will be able to be shown for it. Well folks, welcome to the Red Bull Ring, and this is how we decided to come back for a long time since GT6, and this is going to take this for a very long time to take the competition to the next level. So take a look at this nice view for it, because it's been different for a while. But even so, this is pretty good for different enhancement view changes for it. But man, that view has been changed differently since we just last lapped. And now we're about to get ready to race for it. But no idea that this is very different to see it for it. Well, I kind of think let's just go and get ready to start the race for it because I'm ready to go for it. So the first round is going to be very challenging, and let's go and see how we even get to know about the corner. But good thing that was nice music to be putting on for. Wow, take a look at this track. It looks like somebody had to start having a comparison video for it because it's also giving us the difference. Okay, that's better. Stay at the apex, that might be quite getting the racing to be turned onward. Well, I'm just gonna have to take 2 rounds for the KTMs for having a 1-make race battle. That might be getting a little bit better time to do it. Standard versus 15th anniversary variant. Well, I've already did since Grand Prix. So even so, this track is definitely located in Austria, part of Europe. So that might be very good for having a little F1 race for it because it is going to be quite excited for us that we should probably have to go and grab a Formula 1 car and take it to the track. Okay, so that's 2 laps. Now maybe I'm just going to go and switch the interior view to take a look at for it. So definitely the short track is definitely quite easier in case if you really want to take a little braking point earlier. Just make sure, just be careful if you really want to have an early braking point for it. So definitely the last 2 corners is definitely quite very easier. So this might be getting to go in and take the last stretch for the dive-in point. But probably have a little braking point is always important in case if you really want to do it right. Okay, final lap is going in. So it's just gonna go and take a little easy in and that was very close for it. That was very close. I just definitely finally got recognized for it. Okay, final lap is going in for it. But this turn is going to be quite very tricky for it. Yeah, definitely that might be the bad part in case if you really want to do it right for it. That might be giving you a better advantage if you want to have a little clean turn on that corner. It looks like that was first race on the Red Bull Ring Short. That's very cool and that's very improbable for it. So let me see which total of distance that I just did very well for it. Okay, so 4.2 miles, that might be very good for the short track. But luckily, it was just getting a little bit of fast start, so let's see the different replay to see what it looks like on the Red Bull Ring track. Okay, so that might be very good to see this nice replay race for it. Looks like 2 KTM Expos are definitely going in by start. Well, it seems to be having different like GT6, but the replay is giving a brand new different one here for you since the first time in GT Sport for it. But probably the update is quite getting very good for it. It also has some new cars to be bringing in for it because, well, old style vehicles quite getting an old school classic for it. But probably The only problem is for several GT players who don't have a highly expensive car, maybe they only have to wait for a long time until everything needs to be quite checked up for it. But it's hard to get a high expensive car for the daily workouts. But this is going to be very difficult for us to see which high expensive vehicle we get, or probably they always have to do this the usual way for it. But that might be giving me a hard time to see it. Okay, so looks like here comes that view part, the S replay. My, looks like two KTMs are doing pretty good that well. Okay, looks like handling is very good. Looks like the Expo driver from second place is definitely getting stronger for it. So maybe let's just check on camera type. So it's definitely variable. So this might be quite getting good for a different one for it. So let's check on the lap timing for it. Okay, so looks like I'm still currently in first place for it. Okay, so looks like that might be the end part, is the final lap part. Oh, that part is very hard to do it right to stay on the apex. That might be the hard part for it. So, looks like that makes it very good for the short track. So let's just go on over to the full track and see. This one is quite very good for challenging. So maybe I should probably have to go with the afternoon clear skies. That might be very perfect to be different like the ones back in GT6. So probably racing on the Red Bull Wing is very fast and very challenging for it. It also to be driven professional for it, but only has to race with the Red Bull X 2014s would be very possibly good for the one-make race for it. That might be quite very good to represent the heritage for Red Bull. So, looks like I'm still racing with KTM Expos for it. So looks like race number 2 with Expos will be going in, and let's take it to the next round. Now we're racing on the full course, and this is going to be quite very excellent challenging for me. So probably 3 laps is quite giving the usual since the last race on the short track. So definitely let's go for it and take it on the full course and see how it go well. Okay, so definitely the double cones are right in place. So it's just gonna go and keep it steady in. Okay, so the standard one is currently in first place, so I'm just trying to go and keep the 15th anniversary over. So definitely that corner is quite challenging for me. So if I could probably have to make sure to do it like a pro. Okay, steady. Step on that apex and then catch that first place expo. looks like going down for only one gap to be quite ever shown for it. So looks like second lap is going underway. Relaunch that throttle to stay in draft. Just one simple pass, and then looks like the 15th anniversary variant is now in the lead. Well, looks like that's very simple race matter sports. You only race for under 2 minutes because I'm just gonna go and keep in track of the lap time for it. So definitely, current fast lap is 1 minute and 51.605 seconds. That might be very good for under 2 minute challenge for it. So this one is gonna be quite very good to take a little run on the Red Bull Wing full torque, and this is gonna get everything for a better advantage for it. This corner is going to be very challenging in case if you see the apex. So go step on it and see how you're really going to go to a top with having a second moment for it. Luckily, apex, whenever you're going to land in, that might be your time to go in for it without getting caught up by making mistakes for it. There we go. So this one is going to be under 1 minute and 50 minutes. Well, I kind of think that 1 minute and 50 seconds could be quite getting a little track of time for having a little one-mix race with using the Expo board. So looks like the standard one is currently in second place for it. So I hope this is going to be quite very much obliged to be able to go and take the final lap. Keep sliding in. Make sure that apex is guiding you to leave whenever you're going to have to do. Excellent. So definitely the inner apex and definitely the other apex is definitely quite giving a little helpful tip in case if you really want to make the full advantage to win this race. So apex are always helping you in case if you really want to race in the Red Bull Wing. That might be giving the right opportunity to race it in for it. So this one is going to be the next circuit experience after Circuit Vicente Flores was part of it. It looks like that was the second round win for the KTM Expos, and that's very good. Well, probably that was a pretty good experience test run for it. Good thing I also used the KTM Expo by the start for it. But this is going to be one rare opportunity for having a race for it. So okay, so the total miles is 7.9 miles in 3 laps for it. That's very good for it. So let's just go and take the small earnings, and then it'll be rated a time to take a race out with using the Red Bull X 2014s. Will be quite getting the good start. So probably this will be able to use for the standard replay for it. And let's see how this race can go out to be. Well, probably this is going to be one big, pretty excited race between the two KTM sports. th anniversary expos are going in by second place starts. So the standard is going to be quite getting the possible to be okay, so this might be the view where several cars are landing in on the apex after a turn. So definitely the hard part is definitely quite getting a little harder whenever you see the apex. Just go and make a touch for it in case you really wanted to go and have a chance. Okay, two Expos are racing in on towards the uphill corner section. Racing in for a happy day. Well, I kind of think that sign just definitely also seeing it in before taking the right turn corner will be quite very excited for it. Okay, so looks like stepping on that apex will be very important. Land on that. Quite getting a relatively challenging technique for any driving skill set for it. So it looks like this is very good for the two KTMs for having a little first stage of the race test moment. And I guess that this is going to be quite excellent moment to giving a little bit chance for. Okay, so that's it for the end of the race. So, looks like I decided to go and exit out and grab the X 2014 Junior for having a little race. So, I decided that I should probably have to go with a full course again. So, looks like things about to get everything different out for choosing the different condition. So, looks like it's time for a little cloudy time for it. Let's just gonna go and choose the official livery design, and now let's go for it. So I had to be starting out at 20th place, so 4 laps will be giving the right start to do it. I hope this is going to be giving you a little professional momentarily to be prepared, because this one is going to be quite perfect by the start for this race, folks. And then second stage of the race, it's all Red Bull X 2014 only for having a little race for it, because that might be quite giving the right time to get prepared. Well, I kind of think Red Bull X 2014 is very perfect to get prepared for the race for it. So this time, want to make race only for having a little round for it, because this is going to get pretty excited to represent the heritage of this track. So here we go, and let the 4-lap challenge begin. Well, definitely I just using the racing soft tires by the start. That might be good recommended use for it. So, looks like taking a little hard challenge for it. All Red Bulls are definitely now racing on the track. Okay, so definitely that might be very hard specific turn for it. So, looks like for this moment, has all the X 2014 juniors until reaching into the final lap. This is going to get pretty much challenging for me. Well, I should probably have to go and get the standard on for it. That might be quite very better for it. Okay, so it looks like the light turn handling could be quite very good in case if you see the apex, go for it, and then just do whatever you can to take much bit of chance to keep the handling up and improved. Okay, second lap goes in by the middle halfway point. Go again on that first turn. Well, probably cloudy conditions is ever yet to be seen and shown for it, but this is might be very good for it. So probably after this one, so let's just gonna go and see at the dusk time for it. Alright, so looks like no need to have a replay full recording, so that might be good for now. So it looks like everything is quite setting up for it. Just get everything warmed up for it. So looks like I might be able to change on the interior view for it, see how the handling should be worked up on the track. fifth gear is still going in for it, so here comes the last turn. That might be the extreme part for it. Okay, third lap almost there, only 4 more to go. Okay, so one is definitely slowing down. It looks like that's good. Just giving a little bit of time to be reached up over. So definitely the last two Red Bull X2014 Juniors are definitely separate, so that might be doing a little bit challenging. So let's go on the hood cam and then let's try to keep up faster. That's good on the apex. So this might be giving me a little bit of hard fasting quickie challenge, folks. By using the Red Bull X2014 Juniors, this might be getting a little bit fitter advantage to take some more time until the apex can also help you for it. So avoid getting too much braking point, that will slow down. So this will be keeping up much faster in case that the gap distance will be able, if you want to decrease it shortly, that might be the time to take the chance to go for it. So I'm taking a little bit of hard time for it to avoid getting spinning out for it. So this will also be keeping track of the gap in case if you really want to go in, take it a little bit shorter for it. Good. Almost there, just only one gap left. There you go. One car passed, only one more to go. So apex can also help you out in case this is going to be your vantage point. There's the white one. Just going to go for it and make a little bit much strap and then take the pass before reaching on the braking point. Well, this is going to get a little bit trickier. There you go. That's very good. First place until taking one last stretch, and looks like race is finally complete. That was a pretty good one-make race at the Red Bull wing with using the Red Bull X2014 Junior class. So that might be quite possibly good for taking the advantage race moment to go fast like a pro. So looks like let's just check and see. Okay, so 10.6 miles, that's very good. So that means that might be very closer to be reaching up on the daily workout complete. That might be very good, and this is going to be pretty excited to see it well. So looks like time to take on to the short track for a second round of the last test of experiment. So I really guess that taking the dusk time will be quite perfectly timed to get ready for the one last round, because this is going to be pretty excited to see if this is going to be prepared for all the marbles. Now we have to wait until ready for the last race. Well, looks like this is going to be very good. So I might be able to be quick tune up to be adjusted to power. So this might be very good for it. Okay, so let the final race of the last test, and then let's get started. So this is going to be very shorter, folks. This is going to take it in, and let's give it all I got. So definitely the headlight has been turned on since dusk time and daybreak on for it. So looks like this is going to give me a little bit fast start for it. But man, looks like this is going to give me a little bit better start to do it. Go. Just keep focusing up to increase its power. Ooh. This one's getting really tricky here. Alright, second lap is going in by taking the halfway point. So this might be very good for taking a Red Bull Wing race challenge for it. So it also give a little extended amount of distance to be finishing up by the daily workout time for it. Oh man, that's very slick. Okay, that's better. Just keep the grip going on for it, and then let's keep the focus. Well, I kind of think that no sign of the city course going on for the next update, so we're just having some actual real-life tracks that we're about to be prepared to be going in to be raced like a pro for it. So even so, that we're still waiting for the original Gran Turismo tracks going on for it. So probably this is going to be very good for the Red Bull Wing to be part of the next list for it. So this might be very good for having some very good specific corners of each challenging movement. So that might be giving a little bit better time to be racing on the short track boards. That might be very easier to take the advantage and go for the win. Alright, so coming in one short overtake, then I'm going to be in the top three. Alright, excellent touch on the apex. That's very good. Okay, we're at the push it to the floor. Looks like definitely first place driver is just definitely currently in the win. So looks like that might be good for second place. That was a lot of good workout for today at the Red Bull Wing, folks. That is pretty good. So probably that might be the good race for us. So even so, if I probably have to take 5 laps, that might be very extended, longer amount for distance. So looks like I did my best for today. That was a pretty good race at the Red Bull Wing, short and full track. That might be quite possibly very good for today. So looks like this time daily workout is probably complete. And I guess that this is going to be good to see if I see that Red Bull X 2014 standard. Ah man, that is so close. So I guess I got myself a Nissan Skyline R32. Well, probably that I should probably have to start stacking up some credits if I really need to go and grab a high expensive car if I really want to do it. So maybe let's just go and take a look at the mileage exchange. So looks like I just already purchasing all the colors for it, and probably different posts has been checked out for it. Well, I kind of think that all blue colors are now here for it, but I kind of think I'm already purchasing all of it, since every time I also have to go and buy something else. So I really guess that I should probably have to start purchasing few other colors first, and then I'll be buying a lot of it for it. So maybe I'll be buying the purple, orange, green color shift one. So that might be quite very good for a special color, and maybe the P4 liquid metallic should be quite added in for the next one for it. So I kind of think this is going to be quite very good for any different poses for it. Well, at least I just already checked all of it for it, but probably, well, maybe I almost forgot to check on the circuit experience. So this might be giving the detail by detail for it. And so looks like circuit descent Chlorix C is now added in for it. Well, looks like this is going to be very challenging by having 5 stages. So this is all the corner parts for it, but this is going to be very hard to tell. It looks like we'll be using the GT by Citroen race car Group 3. That might be getting a good choice to use this car for it. So looks like I'll be very prepared if I really want to get a high expensive car to participate in a historic racing car cup for it. So I really guess that the August update is quite very cool, to be pretty excited to go for, to make a good start to be racing at the Red Bull Wing. But I did my best for it. So a lot of new cars are quite very cool to see, and also the high expensive cars for it, because that bumped us out for it. Unless if we really want to start stacking up some more credits, if we really want to, or probably how to make more credits fast in case if you really want to get a high expensive car to participate to race to enter. But it takes a lot of days until if you really want to take 1% to receive a high expensive vehicle as a prize card to be used for it. But probably it takes patience if we need to get one, and participate if you can to do it for it. So this might be very good for having a good August update for this race moment. That might be quite very good to enjoying this track here for it. Okay folks, well, I hope you really enjoyed for this August update special event going on for today. I'm glad that you guys like it. Thank you very much. So don't forget to click like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube, and the links on the description down below in case if you want to see more for it. So looks like that might be very good for having an August update for it. Glad this is very fun to have all these cool stuff to see for it. And good thing the Honda S2000 GT1 Turbo was definitely joining in for it. That might be pretty cool to excited for it, to see how it can race with the supercars for it. So glad that you enjoyed this video. Thank you very much, and I'll see you guys next time to continuing on board. I'm glad that you really have to see some more stuff to come. So looks like good thing few other cars are about to be joining in for having a little race board. So probably this one is probably pretty digital for the Amuse S2000 board. So I'll be able to try it out for it. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you there folks. Keep on racing and stay cool.